Like your emoji, I'm trying to zoom in on it real quick.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
I
nice.
think it describes me pretty well.
Laid back.
Yes.
And Jackie, sorry I didn't get to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good tonight. Sick again, but we're marching through as usual. Y'all look so cute though. Kelsey, you nailed it, girl. Love your emoji, your icon. Awesome.
Chrissy, welcome in.
Hey everyone,
How are you doing?
doing great, great. Loving that we are being consistent with our every Wednesday. So thanks for hosting it. I know that you're super busy with what you have going on, being part of what do you what team are you part of now, Josh?
Cell Team 6. And yes, we are busier than I ever even imagined. So, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a busy January. I think busier than probably we all anticipated. So. I appreciate everyone taking the time to join our space tonight.
Yes. And tonight's topic is marketplaces. Um, what is USA's marketplace, and what is it exactly trying to accomplish? If you could just kick us off to start with that.
Yeah, so marketplaces, I'm not sure anyone realized the opportunity in just the marketplace space, right? So when you think about what marketplaces are, marketplaces come in all shapes and sizes. And I don't think I truly understood the opportunity of a marketplace when we started the Strong Universe. It's so vast, um, and when you think about all the different platforms that now exist as a marketplace for creators, and when I talk about creators, I'm talking about folks that are in the traditional retail space, um, verticals, all the way to national retail brands, to artists, to food, to the food industry, to wineries, to pretty much everything that we touch on a daily basis is now putting their products up on a marketplace. And once upon a time, the only marketplace may have been, I'm trying to think if it's what was before eBay, or I'm sure someone, a true, retailer would know what was before, kind of that eBay mindset where it was used product. But now marketplaces have taken on a whole new meaning, beyond how we think about it. Even, we're thinking about it as physical and digital, right? We're kind of building that bridge between those two worlds. Um, but I think we're learning the power of it in the Strong Universe. Um, we started off about a year ago, right, or 14 months ago, of just thinking about the physical, and then, early on into it, we started to think about the digital, and then thinking about how to bridge those two has really put us at the forefront of now that people are either in the physical or in the digital. They're coming to us and saying, well, can you help us bridge it? And I think this is probably one of the most exciting times for creators, because and again, creators, I'm encompassing all folks that are looking to market or sell something. We're becoming that bridge. And the people that are reaching out to us, I just am so excited by the talent, because it's really turning traditional retail on its head.
Yes, it is. And it's funny you say that. What was before eBay? I was actually thinking like I don't remember anything happening before eBay, and I remember eBay way back in the day just being a super sketchy place. So rolling into the next thing,
It
what is
might still be. You know, it's
It
funny
still
because I
is.
I know
yeah
I ordered something. I ordered something, um, and it arrived. I was testing their system out. I was trying to see the legs that eBay still has, and I ordered something, and it arrived today, and the package said that it was what I ordered, and inside it was something else. And I think, part of what we're doing is that verification, right? Because we want to make sure that what we say we're selling is what you receive, right? And that's kind of the twist of this. It's not just bridging digital and physical, but it's the verification, right? And unfortunately, the first time I ordered from eBay in 20 years, they failed the test today. It's an unfortunate situation in some of these large companies, right? So I remember loving eBay back in the day. So
yeah. I think the last time I ordered something on eBay was like 2011, and I used to have good friends who would love to buy faux everything off of eBay. But I want to move on to the next question I have here is what is the target market um, that USA Strong is in? Because last week we talked about NFTs, and we always talk about all the consumer goods that you have, but just what is the lane that USA Strong exists in?
yeah, that's a good question. What's most important to me are the makers. So what we do first and foremost is local, and making sure that the folks that we have on our platform are who they say they are, and are manufacturing something locally in their community. And what I tweeted today was really important because it was about the two funnels. And the two funnels are, the consumer base. That's the end consumer base, which is really those folks that love local, and local is anywhere, but I'm starting here in the U.S. And we're seeing that is you know maybe a younger subset than the folks that actually manufacture the goods. And so there is a movement, I think, for that younger end consumer to say, well, I don't know that I actually need to make something physical. Why can't I make something digital? So, and maybe that's why they were attracted to us to begin with, because we were so advanced in the digital space. But we definitely think of ourselves as managing two funnels in the marketplace. So we have one consumer that's manufacturing product in the United States, and we're saying, prove it to us, and we're trying to onboard them in a seamless manner. I think Airbnb is probably best in class of how they onboarded millions of homeowners, and they made it a seamless process. We are nowhere near there yet. We fail constantly on how to onboard makers and manufacturers in the US. We're still too clunky. Um, so that's one consumer. I would say that's a consumer of USAstrong.io, because they're buying into the idea of us doing all the work. We do the labor. We build their shop, right? Because we're curating it. It's not just about, and that's probably where Airbnb failed, right? Because anyone can put their home up. It's not verified. You show up, I don't know how many times people have shown up and it's not the house that you thought it was, right? So when I say Airbnb was best in class, they were best in class in onboarding, and they were just about getting everyone onto the site, right? So we're not about getting everyone onto the site. We're about verifying who they are, making sure that it's who they say they are, and then onboarding them seamless the way Airbnb did. and making sure that the consumer receives what they think they're supposed to receive, right? Because again, like today, eBay failed, right? Because they're about mass production and just getting everyone onto the site. That's not necessarily our business model. The end consumer, meaning the person that's receiving what they think they're ordering, right? That's the second funnel. Or what you're asking is like, who is that target? That ended up being this 50-50 split between female, male. I would say 22 to 28 or 32 consumer. And that's definitely who we see ourselves bonding with. It's who works at the company. I think the traditional USA made end consumer is much older than that. That's the purse string, right? So the traditional USA made raw person is definitely in their 50s, 60s. But I think because we were dabbling in NFTs so early or in the virtual space, we seem to be attracting someone younger.
Got you. Are there any questions up here on stage? I know we have quite a few people up here. Do you guys have any questions before we move forward? Go ahead, Ash.
I have a question. Were you surprised at all when you found out who our consumer turned out to be, or did you have that in mind? Did you plan that? Did you plan for our target consumer to be who they are?
I don't think I was surprised. I'm trying to think in the past 12 months. Was I surprised? I think because who we attracted early on to even work and collaborate with me on this was such a young group, right? When I think about the folks in the field, they're all in their young 20s, 30s. When I think about the folks who are purchasing products that send me messages, they're definitely a group that's pushing us and the design team to move actually faster on the digital side. And we thought we were pretty advanced. So I don't know that I was surprised. Maybe what I'm surprised about is that as fast as we think we're moving, and as fast as we think we're building these bridges between the makers or the traditional makers, the 250,000 manufacturers here in the US, what surprises me every day is we're not moving fast enough to bridge the end consumer and the makers. So I'll give you an example. It's not just manufacturers of mass products. It's the creators of traditional art. It's manufacturers of the wine you drink in a restaurant. It's the makers of everyday things that you would never imagine need verification or need a voice, that are coming to us and saying, can you help not just verify that I am who I say I am, but connect us with your consumer group and help us curate it, and then help us connect physical and digital products. And can you move a little bit faster? And I just, as fast as I think we move, the fact that we're not moving fast enough connecting these folks shocks me. So this next generation is very progressive and aggressive. So I just I don't know what these traditional retailers, specifically eBay, and I don't know why I'm picking on eBay today. I guess it's because I ordered something and I didn't get what I ordered, and there's no way for me to complain about it to them. I guess I don't know what they're going to do about the future. They have no chance, right, against the folks that we have on our team and the tech we have, right? Because we're so loaded on tech. So I guess it's a long-winded answer, Ashley, but no, I'm not so surprised. I'm surprised at the strong team for not keeping up as much as we should.
Chrissy, are there any interesting customer journeys that you have in your marketplace?
Meaning what? So specifically meaning.
Meaning, like, are there any interesting stories of people that you onboarded, or interesting, maybe you help someone with their business or anything like that? You guys are 2 years in now, right?
About a year. We're about 14 months in. Yeah, I guess it's when you stop and think about some of the stores that we've onboarded. Um, every single one sends us a message of gratitude. We have a store idea chic out in Colorado that takes the time. They make their stationery locally. I think it's in Denver. And he saw Alex and I on Yahoo Finance, and that's when he reached out to us. And he was so excited that someone cared about verifying that the information was real. And it shocks me every day that this is not done. It shocks me that eBay got as big as they did without caring if one of their vendors lies. And there's a flip to that, right? It's about us caring about showcasing that someone is telling the truth. Now, if someone's lying, we don't tell you that side of it. We don't say, "Oh, this is who we're taking down because they lied." We don't show the nasty side of the business. We're showing you the pleasant side of the business, right? I mean, we've got that information. We're not sharing that. We're showing you the pleasantries because that's who we are. And this is such a beautiful business. This is a husband and wife. They're young, they're beautiful. They're sitting down, they're sharing their story, they're writing thank you notes, and they're locally made, and they're supporting a community in Colorado. And the customer journey for them, that funnel, right? Because again, we're talking about two different funnels on a marketplace, which is incredibly difficult to manage. We're talking about two different marketplaces. And then, so it's actually four funnels. This is the physical world you're talking about with two funnels. We're talking about how we're helping them and then eventually bridging them to the digital world. We get so many thank you notes that I don't even know where to put them anymore. And I save every single one of them. It is such a moment of, where we all are, we stop and we read every single one of them, because the fact that we're saving this, idea of verification before it completely disappears is a very important moment, right? With supply chain imploding, there will be a moment where people will have to say, where am I going to get something? And there will be this moment of desperation of I need to get something, and how do I know where to get it? And you don't want to be in the spot I was today, right? Of like thinking you're getting something and it comes to you and it's fake, and they lie to you and they upcharge you 10 times because they can. And they're big enough to get away with it, and the laws have to change. So us taking a small business and making it much bigger, us taking someone who's been struggling for 10 years or 5 years and saying we can actually change your entire life because we can verify you and separate you from the pack, and then help you bridge into Meta. I can't tell you how many people struggle with Facebook marketing, Google marketing, and have to take their stores off of these platforms because they don't know how to manage it or they can't afford it. These are things that we're helping them with. And every day we're getting 5 to 10 letters in the mail or 100 new customers trying to onboard because they know they have to partner with us. It's a very exciting time. I think, again, we have to do a better job of bridging the physical and the digital, and that's where my husband Alex is pushing me and saying you have to figure out of the hundreds of vendors who's actually going to make it, who can make it into the digital. We got to figure it out. That's what we're working on now.
Thank you for answering my question. And yeah, you guys do provide a lot, and I'm sure you get a lot of great customer feedback on that. I noticed we have a person here on stage. I Cook. Did you have a question or a comment? I Cook. If you're speaking, you have to unmute.
Yes, hello. Good day to you, and thank you for this opportunity. I have a question for Chrissy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Hello.
so I want you to share an experience briefly about the US consumer buying behavior. Thank you.
Great. Hello?
Chrissy, were you able to hear the question?
No.
I Cook was interested in what you've learned from American consumer behavior.
Yeah, good question. So I think it moves. I think it's fickle. I think that it moves like a herd, right? So it's about what's trending, what's in pop culture, who has what on, what's of the moment, and only when it becomes a necessity or a moment of the moment after the demand is gone, do people say, oh my gosh, where do I go next? Right? That's been my learning in fashion, right? I've been in fashion since I was 18. I'm not going to age myself and tell you how old I am now, but American spending or American shopping or how the trends go are once one hit wonders. I love to talk about one hit wonders. After the one hit wonder disappears, where do you go next? And I always go back to you need to have the seeds planted in the ground or the base of the house built to build something withstanding the storm or the future. And when the American consumer shifts, man, does he or she shift. And regardless of the shift, you need to know where they're going in 1 year, 2 years out. And if you can forecast that, it really doesn't matter about these one hit wonders. And, that's what I built this on, 14 months ago or 16 months ago. I had that kind of gut feeling of supply chain issues worldwide. It's not just the US. It's a worldwide contraction coupled with inflation and people sitting home and people using their phones and us wanting to be digital, right? So it's about the sense of visual and visual stimulation. So again, we have to bridge it, and regardless of the American consumer jumping around with an attention span of literally maybe 5 seconds, maybe 7 seconds if you can capture it. You have to have enough there on enough marketplaces. I always say we're like a locust. We're kind of on every marketplace. You may not know we're there, but we're there with physical and digital, because that's our strength, that you're capturing them. So whether you're on OpenSea, we're there. We've got NFTs there. We're going to capture you. Whether you're on Google, Instagram, Shopify, Snapchat, Twitter, wherever you are, we're kind of capturing you. I think that's the American consumer. You kind of have to be able to jump around within 6-7 seconds to keep them engaged. And that's why I always go back to, that's great as a one-hit wonder. But at the end of the day, when it comes into your home, when you think, 1 year, 2 years out, it has to be valid. Because if I'm testing eBay as I did today and they failed, I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
iCook, if
We
you have
are.
sorry, I was just gonna make sure. iCook, did you have any other questions or comments? iCook, are you there? All right, go ahead, Ash.
I was going to say we are everywhere and we're going to capture you, just like Chrissy said. But how do you spot the difference between a one-hit wonder and something that's trending and going to stay trending in the future?
Great question. There's got to be depth to it. You have to ask the right questions. You have to have a lot of history. Spotting trends is definitely difficult. You have to be able to verify who you're talking to and understand the history. And if there isn't history of success, and you have to define success, right? Or the person is just looking for attention, or the company is new-ish, but they don't have any history with the management, or the celebrity is so new that we don't know if there's someone we should put their product on, or there's a lot of gut, there's a lot of intuition, there's a lot of gut, there's a lot of ways you can spot it, but you have to trust intuition, I would say, when you're talking to someone, and that's part of curation. So as we're curating the site, and we're putting the products up, a lot of the time Mimi will come to me and say, we need to check this out. That's years of experience, right? Mimi has been with me since Urban Outfitters. This isn't her first rodeo, and Free People. It's about understanding how to spot a trend, or I've been doing this, gosh, again, I'm not going to date myself, but since the years of couture designers, and some of them are brutal, right? So they can slice through someone and decide, okay, they're gonna this is a trend for 20 years or 1 minute, and it's hard to decipher how they knew, or how they trained me, or how to understand that. But you can spot a fake, and usually your gut tells you, but sometimes people ignore that, right? And they still chase it because they want to believe it. But we don't do that here. because we're coding it and we're documenting it, and we're pushing through to get to the root of the plant or the base of the house, right? So sometimes we don't like the result, but we know we have to push through. So and one hit wonders are great for the moment, but we know it's bad, so you got to throw it away. So that's not what we're looking for here. And with NFTs specifically, right, as a category, we have to make sure as we bridge this physical and digital world, it's not a one-hit wonder, right? It's well, does it have resale value, right? When you think about some of these resale platforms that have done physical, only a few have made it, right, past 4 years, right? So yeah, we're living like a locust in open sea. There's Rarible. We're being cautious. We're thinking about, okay, well, we've seen this before. We've seen it in retail. We've seen resale a million times. This isn't new news. We have to think about all of the different opportunities 5 years, 10 years out. And our experience, again, is going to bridge digital and physical. And we only want the winners. We want what's best in class as we kind of take it out there.
Ashley, did that conclude your questions and thoughts?
Yes, I love it.
Are there any other questions or comments up here on stage? All right. Chrissy, so are there any trends that you're spotting on the horizon that you'd like to capture and bring onto the marketplace? Is there anything you're seeing?
Yeah. Well, what I'm seeing is people don't really necessarily want these types of things that are considered animals, right? So we're moving away from apes and, bananas, all these different types of interesting types of NFTs, I guess you would call it. Again, what we're seeing and what we're experiencing is the obsession for anything in the supply chain that's contracting, right? In the physical, and the obsession to get it, and how do you connect it to the digital? And so the future for us is, how do you make that physical into an opportunity in the digital? And so that's the trend. That's the inbound traffic that we're getting daily. That's what I would say is a trend. So anyone that sees that in their rail as an opportunity, if it's a store, if it's a brand, it's a vertical that says, okay, I'm Zippo, I'm already on USA Strong, I'm already selling with them, and in my digital platform, I already have Harley Davidson, and I want to make that a virtual world. How do I bridge the virtual and the digital? I would say that probably is the trend, right? If I'm a vintage wine and I want to bridge between virtual and digital, I'm going to come to Strong and say, okay, first verify that I'm sustainable, probably because I'm sustainable and maybe my neighbor isn't, right? And also, maybe the end consumer doesn't need the wine immediately. Oh, and I want to NFT one or two of these bottles. To me, that's the future, beyond needing a picture of some of these other things that are happening.
Got it. Thank you for answering that. I noticed we have a guest up here with us. Selcat, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting what you were just talking about. It's kind of like with the bottles. It's like how people would see those limited edition Coke bottles come out or something. They're made of glass, and then you drink it, but then you take the bottle and you don't want to keep it forever, so maybe you just take a picture of it, right? So you could just kind of have, like, instead of doing that or holding onto the bottle forever, you got an NFT that kind of complements it. You got a piece of history still with you, but you don't have to, hold on to that thing after you're done with the product. So I think that's really cool. I was also going to ask about you guys' profile pictures. They're super cool.
So two things. One, I have a vintage Coca-Cola bottle with my name on it, still sitting in my closet that I've been carrying around for gosh only knows how many years. So you just nailed it. You nailed it with that. And shame on us for not already making that an NFT. So I need to do that immediately. Immediately, I'm going to make that something. I need to talk to Alex on why we haven't done that already. So thank you. Because why am I walking around with that thing for years? But I think I've had that before I met Alex, by the way. I mean, I think Jackie, we've had that since high school. Okay, next. I think the
We
next
have, Chrissy. I still have it. I was gonna just chime on in. I
with
still
my
have
name on
mine.
it.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's amazing. And then the next thing with the wine, you know, not everyone has storage for wine. Um, and there's a great restaurant next door that stores the wine for you, right? And if you don't want the wine in your home, they'll store it for you. And I think the idea is, well, but I want to show that I own it, right? And I think as these wineries come on board, it's amazing because they already are storing it, right? But it's also the resale. It's saying, okay, I purchased this. I don't need to have the clunkiness of like shipping it, showcasing it, having it in my home, having this whole wine cellar built, but just and then the resale value of that uh you know NFT, right? But meanwhile, the storage is still there, right? So the opportunity is endless. And next, the inspiration was from this amazing woman that I'm having a meeting with tomorrow, who I can't name her name, but she sold, I think, one NFT for an insurmountable amount of money to celebrities. And I'm so humble by the fact that she wants to talk to me. So I'm excited. So she inspired us, and we changed all of our pictures. So again, it's she's living in the virtual world, trying to get into the physical world, right? So that's a great topic of um, how are brands that are only living in the virtual or the digital bridging into the physical. So I think for all of these vendors and retailers and verticals on our site that are already in the physical, that are doing a phenomenal job, that aren't touching digital, it'll be interesting when all of these folks meet someday and someday soon, because we're going to have all of these folks that are only in the physical space, and we're going to have all of these amazing people in the digital space, and they've never met, and they're very different. But somewhere in the middle, when you put kind of that circle of where all these people meet, it's creativity. And they're all beautiful. And hopefully, we'll do it in the Hamptons. I have to convince my husband to open up our amazing property to all of these people, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people, because I've never really shown how vast our community is. But it'll be an amazing moment.
Selka, did you have another question?
I'm just like looking at these profile pictures and I'm thinking, wow, like that would be incredible one day if USA is strong or something and Celsius had some kind of like a crossover type thing or something, like everyone was getting these kinds of profile pictures, like I would be down. Like I would buy that from USA Strong just to have that as my
Explosive, right?
profile picture.
I know.
What a
We'll
great
get that.
idea. That's amazing. I love that.
Hopefully this summer. That's
And
our goal.
Chris, is this an artist that's on your platform? Where did you get these NFTs from?
So we're working towards that. I mean, I think, you know, as I think about who we're going to work with towards Valentine's Day, hint, hint, we have 3 or 4 artists and companies, brands that we'll launch with. One specifically that I'm just obsessed with that I think should do a takeover. And they'll work with us on doing a pretty special moment, not just for us, but the community. So we'll get there. We're almost there to announce who those partnerships are with.
As we start to begin to round out the hour, Chrissy, do you want to provide us with closing thoughts? And is there anything in particular? Because this is a new journey of yours that you're taking from leaving the fashion world and moving into creating this gigantic marketplace. If you could just maybe share with us some lessons you've learned thus far. But actually, I see Stephanie has a hand up. Stephanie, you want to ask your question first before she does that?
Sure, yeah, I think it goes pretty hand in hand. As you mentioned, Josh, we are, um, or at least I am newer to this space, so we're all learning together, and that's what's the most exciting part about it for some of us. But Chrissy, if we have, I'm not sure if we have any listeners or if we have vendors on our site or consumers on our site right now that are interested in turning their products into NFTs. How do you suggest they get started with that?
I think. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep.
Well, I think the first thing is what are they trying to achieve? You know, is it digital first or physical first? And I think you know, I identified probably 50 out of the, hundreds that we have on the platform that probably we could help bridge into the digital world or the meta. But it's about the roadmap that some of these folks start to plan and deciding that they want to do it first, right? So if this is something that some of our partners want to do, and this is what they want to achieve, is an NFT, and they want theirs to be part of their already established partnership with us, then that's something obviously we could do, right? I mean, it's part of our DNA. So they just have to reach out to us and tell us. We can easily do that. I think it's more about end goals, right? Because we're not in a rush. We're trying to figure out first and foremost verification of who and what you are, and ensuring the end consumer is happy regardless. Because again, an NFT, what's to prevent you, Stephanie, from saying that you are ape number 222, right? Without verification that you are that ape, there is no truth. So, part of what we're doing is verifying the data, because anyone can say they are that NFT, it doesn't mean anything. I could right now go on to OpenSea and say, you know what? I question all, 10,000 NFTs. They're going to have the same problem on OpenSea that eBay has. It's just going to happen faster. The whole point of what we're doing and the technology we hold is we can verify what is real and what is not, and who actually is the originator. Whether it's the photo, whether it's the NFT, whether it's digital, physical, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to me. The point is, you're not lying. And that is going to become more and more critical as we move into the future. And for those vendors that have taken the journey with us and have started down the path, it's more important for me to understand, okay, your end goal is that you have been doing this. This is your passion. Whether you started as a digital or whether you started as a physical, it's because your truth. This is who you are. This is what you do. This is pure from beginning to end. And that's what we do. That's what we do. That's why we're all here. That's why we're doing this 24 hours a day and then connecting those worlds for that person. That's why we barely, or whoever's part of the team barely makes anything. Or, someone said, you should mark yourself charity. Well, sure, I could do that. I should. We don't make money, but we will at some point. Right now, this is about just verifying and clearing the playing field of what is real and what is not. And that includes OpenSea. For me, OpenSea is no different than Etsy. It's a marketplace, right? I don't know what's real on there. Just because they claim it's a wallet and it has to be truth doesn't mean that that person is the originator of that art. We still have to verify it. All information has to be verified. And until I dig and figure it out and put the puzzle pieces together, it doesn't mean anything until the brand is created and we verify it. And just because someone says it doesn't mean it. That is why we have ambassadors and we go and visit and we say, but who are you? And where do you live? And is it real? Or what's the address? And send it to us. Send it to us in USPS mail. Right? And that's why we dig around. That is our truth. That is our mantra. So as we close this out, I think it's very, very important for everyone to understand, whether it's on usastrong.io, whether it's Dottie, whether it's virtual, physical, digital, if what you're doing is passion and it's real, we are here. That's what we're doing. We're trying to prop you up and build you up, and that is why we have so many vendors now after 1 year or 14 months. This is our passion. Doesn't matter what marketplace. It's just a marketplace. So don't be scared if it's digital. Don't be scared if it's physical. This is why we're building the bridge. And at some point, everyone needs to meet because everyone's human. And just because it's digital doesn't mean they're not humans. They have to be human. So there's a human behind it. And we're going to put everyone together. So if you're a physical platform and or a physical store, you're making products and you decide you wanted to bridge into Meta, I know that Facebook kind of made it scary. It's not. We can help you. If you're in physical, you want to get into, sorry, if you're in digital, you want to get into physical, it's not scary. We can help you. We can kind of normalize what's happening out there.
Well said, Chrissy. Are we to close out for the night?
Yes. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. And everyone, hope you got something good out of this. And I hope you have a good rest of your night. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.